From Europe's closets to Africa's wetlands, the story of fast fashion waste. A recent investigation shows that every week, thousands of tons of discarded British clothing are dumped in Ghana's protected wetlands. What was once called recycling is now poisoning rivers, choking farmland, and piling into places that should be sanctuaries for wildlife. What's more is, it is killing the local textile industry. Hi, I'm Sarun Zamanil and this is Analytica Today. According to a report by Unearthed and Greenpeace Africa, Ghana's protected wetlands, ecologically vital areas, are being used as dumping grounds for fast fashion waste from Western countries. Clothes from brands like Primark, Zara, H&M are arriving by the container load. For European brands, this is waste disposal, but for Ghanaians, it is pollution, loss of land, and a daily struggle. But this story is not only about Ghana. It reflects a larger pattern where Africa absorbs the world's waste while being told it is aid or trade. Used clothing trade is enormous. The second-hand government market globally is worth over $5 billion annually. In Ghana, an estimated 1,000 tons per week of used clothing arrive, much of it unsuitable for reuse. The Unearthed and Greenpeace report notes that in some wetland areas, clothing waste covers large swaths of oil, impeding drainage and changing water flow. This happens across the continent. For decades, containers of used clothing from Europe and the US have flooded African ports, but much of what arrives is low quality or unsellable. Reports estimate that up to 40% of these clothes also end up as waste, dumped in landfills, rivers, or open burning sites. Countries such as Nigeria, Kenya, and Uganda are among the largest receivers of these imports. In Nigeria, reports say that over one-third of incoming used clothes are unsellable. They go straight to dumps. This practice has destroyed the environment, killed industries, and harmed many communities. Soil in and around wetlands is degraded, rivers carry microplastics, and farmers can't use land once waterlogged by dumped garments. Health problems rise when people work near or live by the sites: skin infections, respiratory issues from burning clothes, unsafe water use. Industry suffered too. Nigeria once had thriving textile factories employing hundreds of thousands, but the influx of nearly free used clothes made cost of production, wages, and raw material uncompetitive. Local producers could not survive. In Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, many small workshops and tailors say their businesses has dropped sharply. Jobs are lost and skills are disappearing. African governments have tried pushing back. Some imposed limits on second-hand imports. Others offered subsidies or support to domestic textile sectors. Rwanda raised its import tax on used clothes from about 0.20 kg to 2.5 kg, effectively banning many used clothes imports. Washington responded by suspending Rwanda from parts of the US, a GOA trade deal. Others like Kenya gave in to the pressure. Facing threats of sanctions, Nairobi rolled back its own plans to restrict second-hand imports. In 2023, Kenya imported used clothing worth nearly $300 million, even as its textile industry struggled. Uganda, Nigeria, and Tanzania have also, on several occasions, considered regulations, but to no meaningful outcome. Because resistance often comes with threats: trade sanctions, pressure from donor countries, limits on aid or market access. The trade rules that favors exports from rich countries usually come at the expense of Africa's development. What looks like trade or aid almost always comes with real costs: losing industrial capacity, losing trade privileges, and being pressured to accept what others discard. For Africa, this is more than an environmental issue. It is economic sovereignty. Every bale of unwanted clothing is not just waste, it is a barrier to building stronger local industries. Every ton dumped in wetlands is a reminder that sustainability preached abroad often ends at our borders. Africa's future is not to carry the burdens of others, but to decide what enters its markets, what supports its people, and what undermines them. Because waste disguised as trade is not opportunity, it is exploitation. I'm Sarun and this is Analytica Today. Stay tuned for more.